Well, I thought I'd come back a little earlier than planned for a bit of festive fun with Luton Town because since you were last with me, we've gone through all of the emotions. We've had a couple of blistering wins with performances that made me think maybe we're ready for the next level. We then had a crushing defeat at home last time out, and now we've got ourselves an injury crisis in a certain position yet again. With two festive fixtures on the road against sides in that bottom end of the table, this is going to be a real test of our mettle. I've got to be honest, with the players available today, I'm not sure this is going to go well. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 30 of this FM06 Let's Retro Save from Luton Town. We are back today to face Everton and Wigan, two games in 4 days over the Christmas period. They're two away games that I think we're going to struggle with, particularly given the fact that our last game was a sign of things to come on the injury and suspension front. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute, but for now, if you're looking forward to this one, as we're flying in the table, and please do put a thumbs up on it. We had two performances out of the gods after you were last with me, but the last couple of games, it started to crash back down to earth. If we go and have a look at the fixtures to see what's been going on, well, you were with me as we picked up 4 decent points against Hull and Sheffield United with successive clean sheets. Nothing of the like since then, but look at the two results after. A 5-1 win away at Charlton Athletic, and it all happened so quick. We were 1-0 down. We then pegged them back 5 minutes before the break, scored 2 in 2 minutes. Started the second half, scored 2 in 5 minutes, and then got a late penalty to round it off. Keane, Osman, Walcott and a Crouch brace doing a job in that one. A really good display, and thanks to future Luton player Dean Kiley, who gave us a couple of gifts there. Then we beat Spurs by 4-1 at home. Zonneveld scored a brace, including a free kick. Crouch and Valentin Robert both popped up with one as well. It's another game where we weren't looking that convincing. We were 2-0 up at the break with 2 late first half goals. Then Spurs got one back and were piling the pressure on. But on this rare occasion, they went to their 4 up front at the end and we hit them on the counter. Valentin Robert got the third, then we got a late free kick for the fourth, which Mike Zonneveld put in the corner. Following that though, back to reality. A 1-1 draw away at Manchester City. Zonneveld scored a late penalty, which just about snuck us a point, which based on the balance of play, we didn't really deserve. It was our only shot on target. Then at home to Chelsea, it happened the way we expected. Due to injuries, Chris Coyne had to come back into the team. The comments a couple of days ago, justice for Chris Coyne. We'll have a look at this. He was rated 4. He was sent off after 41 minutes. He'd scored an own goal, given a mistake away for the second, and then got sent off. That is the end of Chris Coyne, let me tell you that, because that disappointed me on that day and ruined what was a very decent run of form and a pretty average performance otherwise. So now we've got a run of fixtures that's interesting because we're not really facing any of the top sides in the division until Arsenal, Liverpool and United in February. But what we have got is a lot of injuries, a lot of away games and a little bit of expectation at last because those 2 big wins put us up to 7th in the Premier League table. Yes, I don't want you to get too excited. It's just a really weird layout at the minute. The top 3 are miles away. The bottom 1 is miles away. We're actually only 7 points clear of the relegation zone still. It's just because of the goal difference from those results. With 4 points off 4th, and 4th and 3rd bottom are separated by 11 points after 21 games. So it looks far better than it is. But at the moment, we're going to enjoy it because it's still a very good effort. But in reality, in terms of points above the relegation zone, we're not really in a better position than last year. Let's go and have a look at the players because part of the outcome of those blistering performances was concerns because Theo Walcott, after scoring goals, setting up goals, is now worried about the pressure of public expectation. So that might decline his performances for a while. And we're very short of defenders because, as we mentioned, Coyne and Zonneveld are both suspended for this game. Curtis Davis is returning from an injury and is nowhere near fit. He's still tired. Nick Basagno is out with shin splints. And we're left with Marcus Heikkinen as literally the only other one. Zonneveld can't even tuck in because he's suspended too. So we're going to be a little bit short going forward. We're struggling a little to get consistency out of people. And Peter Crouch, for some reason, after scoring goals galore in recent matches, has decided that his morale's going to drop off a cliff now too. And given that the other 2 with negative morale are 2 of today's starting back 3, I think we might be in for a bit of trouble. Let's go and get through to the first of today's two games, though. We are very short defensively. If we have a look at the tactics, everyone who's there is fit. Barb Davis and Bar Robert, who's been out as well. 89% condition, not worth the risk. So let's see who we can put in. It's going to be Marcus Heikkinen into the back three for Coyne. Hopefully O'Brien and Ferdinand will protect him. Baraji will come in at left wing back. And then in terms of a defensive sub, bar Keith Keane, I don't really know what we can offer. Even in the reserves now, we've not really got anyone who can drop in. Johan Giroud is a possibility, and Galula much the same. But I think if we're being realistic for this game, it's probably going to be Richard Hughes on the bench. And then maybe Steve Howard. Maybe I do have to go for Giroud, I don't know. But I think Steve Howard gives us a different option. There was temptation to drop Walcott, who's had a couple of poor games for Maloney. And in fact, I am going to do that here. And having Walcott off the bench on the break might well be a positive. So this is the 11 we've gone for in full. We're back to basically a championship defence in most areas, bar Ferdinand. I mean, O'Brien, Heiken and Foley and Baraji would have been our back four a lot of that season in the championship. DeCassi and Flamini provide a stronger base in front. And hopefully Osman behind Maloney and Crouch can provide a bit of an attacking threat. Away to Goodison we go. Doesn't promise to be a great one, this. But let's see how we get on with our very depleted defence. Well, here we are then. A fairly defensive 4-4-2 for Everton. And that striker, Vist, is transfer listed. We know that. We saw him there. Sat Knight is a defender we looked at in the summer, but obviously picked Everton instead. They offered massive money by comparison. But they're a little depleted themselves. What I'm worried about is the fact we've got 2 games in 3 days. And whether we can keep people like Heiken and O'Brien fit for both might be a little bit tricky, as immediately we're under pressure. It's a good save from Schmeichel, and Crouch can break away. Can we let it lead to something? No, we can't. It's a tactical foul from Richard Lee, and our counter-attack is thwarted very quickly. Hopefully, he'll get the yellow card he deserves for that. If you've slowed this down for a warning, I'll be very upset. Make sure you put the booking out. He does. He gives him a yellow. 8 minutes gone. A pretty poor start, but it's still 0-0, which is all that matters, and I would take a point here. As Andy O'Brien goes for a chip out wide to Baraji, looks for Crouch. Rare chance for Baraji today, actually, as Crouch gets into Maloney. Shot saved really well. First big chance for Luton, not taken. But a sign that we might be able to get some here. As Foley nicks it back, as does DeCassi. Now Maloney finds Leon Osman. Up towards Crouch, Sat Knight wins it. And Crouch is forced to foul him. Probably got his match aerially in this game, so that might be tricky to take advantage of. As we're going straight from the free kick again. Lee gets it from Paul and Everton go direct themselves. Up goes Heikkinen, who wins it for Crouch. Maloney finds DeCassi. His clearance is blocked and Heikkinen beaten to it easily. Vis gets in, he's one-on-one and it's into the back of the net. A Marcus Heikkinen error. I'm going to have to sign another centre-half. We've got 4 very good ones here. But once we get to Heikkinen and Coyne, it literally costs us the game as soon as they're playing. I know we had that one game where Coyne was man of the match, the fluke performance. But genuinely, whenever one of them starts, I'm petrified of how many we're going to concede. And they're literally making errors, conceding goals every single time. They're leading to direct goals. As Osman's in, good save against his former club. I really think we've got to address it. So centre-half is top of the bucket list in January, particularly given that Davis seems to go on international duty willy-nilly throughout the year. But Sagno's always picking up knocks and going away with the US. We're going to have to address it as it comes in from the corner kick. Maloney with the outswinger. Into the front post to Crouch, who's unmarked. And Peter Crouch scores. Given the defence we're putting out, we're going to need goals. And a Peter Crouch header from the corner just after Zat Knight's gone off injured as well. That extra height, it just proved worthwhile. And Peter Crouch makes it 1 apiece. As we've got a free kick on halfway with Andy O'Brien. Chips up to Crouch again, who beats Yobo to Osman against his former club, Leon Osman. Good save. Crouch puts it to the back post. Maloney will chase, but it's just beyond him. Mark Gonzalez puts it away for a throw. It's been a good 10 minutes for Luton this. Are we going to be able to find the lead? It's certainly been better than I expected. You can see they've got the big guns on the bench. As Foley throws into Maloney, I've just seen Crouch has got a knock. Of course he has. Can't just have a good day, can we? And he scored nearly all of our goals at the moment. Van der Meyde's shot saved, and now they've gone 2-1 up. Following a brilliant 10 minutes is a disastrous 10. Our top scorer's going off injured, and we've managed to concede a goal. It never rains, but it pours, my old favourite statement. Here it comes. Festive period. Have tons of injuries when you've got a game every 2 days. Steve Howard is going to get a rare 45 minutes here. Let's hope he can do something special. Well, here we are just a couple of minutes later as Joseph Yobo is going back to his keeper. Problem is without Crouch now, Howard's not got that pace. We know he's going to win the flick-ons. We know he's going to do his job up there, but he is physically over the hill. And he's starting to decline in other areas too. As Vis puts the cross in, Semia's up. He heads it over the bar. I mean, Heikkinen wasn't even in the box there. I don't know what he's doing positionally. It's a very frustrating half because I genuinely feel with our best 11, we'd be giving Everton a cracking game. But we're nowhere near it at the back. And now, we're nowhere near it up top either. As O'Brien beats Andameda in the air. Howard's not going to get there though. Hibbert the sub. Down the right-hand side. Deflected cross. Van der Meijden's in. Ferdinand clears it away. Last line of defence again. Howard loses out in the air. Van der Meijden gets it in from the right. Semia's in for 3-1. Oh, the goals are starting to get conceded. We got the warning sign against Chelsea. And it's happening again here. We knew this one was going to be fun, didn't we? At the break, it's going to be 3-1 to Everton. And we're now without the striker to get us back in it. But look at the defensive ratings again. Marcus Heikkinen is literally costing us the game. I have to get a centre-half. They were great servants for me in the Championship, Coyne and Heikkinen. But the last two matches, we've conceded goals galore. And they've literally been the cause. It's a really frustrating situation knowing I have got the solution, but I can't apply it until January. We'll go big for a defender as it's down the left with Molineux. What are Everton going to do here and how many will they get to take advantage? Have I got anyone else I could put centre-half? Hibbert to Gonzalez, goes for the shot. I'm tempted to even put in an extra midfielder instead. Do it that way as Flamini loses possession. Semi is able to break with Van der Meijden. Zalieta gets in down the right. I think a substitute here. O'Brien forced to commit. Doesn't make it. Good save along the line. Semia puts it in. Heikkinen again slow to get back. He's got to go. I know there's not a sub on the bench, but he's got to go. We've got to find a better solution. I think the option is we're going to go Keith Keane on. We're going to go Ferdinand into the middle. And Keane will go in there. I could even put an extra one in. And play with fullbacks. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to put Keane in central midfield there. And we're just going to do it like that. I know it's a very unconventional formation, shall we say. But I think it's the solution for now. We're going to take Osman off as a third sub. Struggled against his former club. Walcott's pace on up front to make up for Howard. Maloney drops number 10. But it's as simple as this. If Heikkinen or Coyne are in the 11, we're not going to win football matches, particularly away from home, where they're so lacking in pace. As Foley throws into Walcott, can we at least get some of our attackers in form? Not with passes like that. Gonzalez to Zalieta. Again, the defence, there's nothing there. This is becoming a very worrying day. I've maybe made the mistake of gambling with a back four now, but the two centre-halves weren't even there. And Kevin Foley was the man in the middle. I mean, what is going on with that? Of course it is. Of course it is. Another injury in the festive period. We go 2 months without one. And then as soon as we get to the festivities and fixtures every 3 days, now we have to get tons of them. Flamini's off. Injury crisis is going to be the flavour of the month here. I mean, thankfully Zonneveld and Coyne will be back from suspension, but having Coyne back's not going to solve many problems. And Zonneveld isn't a position we're desperate at the minute. Gonzalez breaks down the left. I'm just worried about how many we're going to concede here. We're now playing against 11 with 10. Johnson's in for 6. And we are going to drop a place in the league just by goal difference today. I mean, we've not got a side that can play with 10. I don't know what to say about the defence. Maloney's going to shoot and it's a good save. We have to sign a centre-half at the start of January because as soon as we've got a couple of injuries, we're in big trouble there. We have to say goodbye to Heikkinen and Coyne. We have to say goodbye to Feeney and Morgan. We're just going to have to be ruthless now. And we're going to have to pass on some of what have been legends for this club. As Keane gets the ball in, deflects to the keeper. And the quicker this one's over, the better. I bet you're glad we came back early now. You got to see a bit of fun on camera. As Baraji gets down the left to Howard. Another one who I think, unfortunately, it's just past him now. He's got to that age at the wrong time. And unfortunately, he can't offer much at this level. He does hold the ball up well. Second time for Baraji. It's going to be a summer where my loyalty's tested. Maybe even the likes of Nichols have to move on. because we are getting to that level now. Can we at least get a consolation goal? Ida Johnson doesn't even get a yellow card. But can we produce one more goal? One more moment? Get a goal to Walcott or someone like that. It's going to be Maloney on the free kick. There's 6 in the box if he can find them. Walcott's up. He's fouled for the penalty. And we will get a chance. Who's number 5 taking it? Andy O'Brien is the best penalty taker left on. Go on, Andy. Get us a goal. Boost your confidence one way, because it certainly isn't from your defending. He puts it in. It's 6-2. And there you go. We've bookended the game. We got back to 1-1, and then we've made it 6-2. In between that, injuries galore, problems galore, and I need a solution at centre-half. We're still not over with the match, as O'Brien has just passed it to Phil Neville. We're playing in black. We're not playing in blue. Please, Andy, what is going on? He's treating it like a penalty, just passing it into the corner. The corner being Phil Neville's foot. As Molyneux goes down the line to Johnson, to Gonzalez, the scoring might not be over here. Mark Gonzalez beats 2. Good save, Schmeichel. Thank God he's made a couple of saves. This could have been 10. Going to have to go for a different approach against Wigan, unless Curtis Davies is fit. We're going to have to think of something different. Robert will probably have to go in that target man role. But we need to see how bad the injuries are, because this could be a disaster. And those 2 great performances feel a long way ago. Just to think, the last episode, when we beat Hull and Sheffield United, or got the 4 points, sorry, then the 2 games after, we were 5 unbeaten then. And I say we're disappointed. We're going to hope for a reaction. But how bad are these injuries? We have got... Neither of them are even injured. So Flamini went off. He just didn't fancy it anymore. Absolutely pathetic. 3 days to recover. We'll be back in a moment for it. And then... mercifully, we can look at the January window and a centre-half. Right then, I've calmed down and I've identified a few targets for centre-half when it comes to this window. But for now, let's strengthen our team a bit, because Baraji's knackered, but Zonneveld is back. Curtis Davies mercifully is back as well, and we'll go in the middle of a back 3. Heikkinen, I don't even know whether it's worth putting him on the bench. He's that bad. But I'm going to probably have to go for it, because Baraji... says he's lacking fitness. Is he going to offer us much? I guess I could put him on instead and then move Zonneveld to centre-half if need be. We are, though, going to get Valentin Robert on the bench instead of Howard. Walcott will come in for Sean Maloney, I think. Just go for a bit of extra pace on the break. Basically as close to the team that was in good form before we started getting all the injuries. And then the substitutes bench is basically Richard Hughes, or it's Baraji or Heikkinen. I think it's almost worth sticking with Hughes at this point, but Keane and Nichols can both do the holding role. Flamini went off injured in the last game. Is it worth giving him one off? He has played well generally this season. I just don't know whether it's worth improving the morale today more than it is the team. I'm going to put Nichols in. Nichols is going to replace Flamini. Hughes will go off the bench for Baraji. That's it. It's decided. We're into the game. Luton Town still in 7th. Let's not get too worried about things. We go away to Wigan Athletic, and there is a chance we can take advantage here. They've got one of the best left-backs in the league in Leighton Baines, who's developed beyond all measure. Everywhere else, they are pretty average. Let's go into the first half, see how we get on. Will the additions back in defence make a difference? Zonneveld and Curtis Davies, the biggest wage earner and the biggest transfer signing of the summer. You'd like to hope they do make a difference. Zonneveld almost cost us a goal on a rebound there, though. With 2 minutes gone, it's not looking much more secure at the back, is it? We'll throw on the right-hand side for Wigan, which is long downfield to Reed, headed away as far as O'Brien, and Zonneveld can start the counter with Peter Crouch, who is remarkably fully fit again. Chance to cross, it deflects on its way to Walcott. We've got a corner kick. That's a bit more like it. Do you know what's ironic about this? If we nicked a win in this game, it would be a great episode, despite losing the first game 6-2. And I've already identified probably 4 or 5 targets for that centre-half position in January. And I think most of them would approve us in the immediate. And 1 or 2 certainly would by next year, which is the immediate concern. As Leon Osman gets in, Peter Crouch with a flick on. And there's the benefit that we didn't have last season. That's why we're more of a goal threat than we were in our first Premier League campaign. Because when the striker flicks on, you've got the other striker up with them. But you've also got that number 10 running in behind. And Leon Osman... or Maloney, whoever's in, they're both very good at it. As Curtis Davies wins the header at the back. Crouch goes chasing. Francis gets it inside. Nichols intercepts for Osman. Bit of that steal back in midfield. Big ball up towards Crouch. He beats Kenneth to it. Finds Walcott, who's got the pace to get in behind John Spector. And Theo Walcott forces a save. Not the most composed finish, but another sign that we can hit this team on the break and we can really cause trouble. Reid holds the ball up front for Wigan. And thankfully puts it out for a throw. 20 minutes gone. So far, so good. But at this stage against Everton, things were looking pretty decent. Zonneveld seems to be going for his average booking every game. Likes to do it. He's already had the one suspension. Won't be long before his second. 25 gone and it's a big free kick. Up towards Anton Ferdinand who heads away. Walcott's beating his man again. And it's a foot race which he's surely going to win. Has he got the finish this time? Theo Walcott forced wide. Puts it in. Second time right for Theo Walcott. Missed the first chance. Took the second. And we're 2-0 up on the road. And with a couple of defenders back in the squad, we look a very different team all of a sudden. Zonneveld gets the throw on the left to O'Brien. Up to Peter Crouch. This could be a really good day at the office. Nichols looks for him again. Zonneveld charging down the left. Crouch is in there. Walcott supporting him, as is now Leon Osman, but he just takes too long. It's cleared away downfield. Are we going to be able to produce? And can we keep a clean sheet? Or is it going to be chances at the other end as Lloyd carries it forward? Out to Satoridis. Chance to cross from the right. Cuts inside Zonneveld. It's a great ball. Reid's unmarked. And it's a brilliant save from Schmeichel. Headed back in again. Reid's offside. We survived one there. Not sure where the defence was. We'll forgive them. Because until that point, they'd been pretty good. Well, into first half stoppage time. No idea how much of it we're getting. And Lee McCulloch is charging down the left. Into Reid. Heads it wide under pressure from Davis. Anton Ferdinand having a great game at the back. And the defence looking much more secure. As Kasper Schmeichel will look for the long goal kick. Up towards Peter Crouch. The proper target. Now he's got Walcott running off him. And he flicks it on for him. It's third time for Theo Walcott. He's taken one and he's missed one. This time he misses again. But Crouch on the rebound. A brilliant block from Satoridis. Oh, we look a right threat. Walcott's pace makes such a difference up there. Because as soon as Crouch wins a flick on, you know you're in. On the left-hand side, we're not going to get time for the corner. It's half-time. Wigan might be unfortunate. But it's 2-0. And we could have had a couple more. A brilliant performance so far on the road. Can we make it continue in the second half? Fingers crossed we can. Well, a very quiet start to the second half. But just before the hour mark, we're back with a Wigan attack. Lee McCulloch on the left. Good defending Ferdinand. And Foley clears downfield. Walcott will petrify Spector again. We know the drill now. Finally, Jonathan Spector does well with one. Was someone I briefly looked at in the summer. Based on this performance, good job we didn't. As McCulloch. Chance to cross from the left. There's two in there. Nichols wins it. And Walcott's away. He's done really well, Nichols, considering he's not played for months. Certainly not from the start anyway, as Clark gets down the right. Chance to cross. Davis in there does well. Oh, we've missed you. Peter Crouch up towards Walcott. Looks 5 million well spent when you compare Davis's performance to the likes of Coyne and Ikonen, doesn't it? Walcott down the left, inside to Nichols. Zonneveld's with him. Heavy touch from Zonneveld is cleared down the line. Andy O'Brien will chase it, but no need. It's out for a throw. I'm not going to change things too early here because we're playing well. I'm just going to keep it. And we'll make the subs as late as possible. As Baines throws in to Reid. We concede one, however. We may panic. I won't promise we won't do that. As Lloyd goes out to McCulloch. Chance to get to the byline. It's into Reid. Good save, Schmeichel. The offside flag was up anyway. What tactic have Wigan gone? They're still 4-4-2, but they've pushed the wingers up a little bit further. It's a good ball out from Schmeichel to Zonneveld. He does well to win the throw. It's been really professional so far. We're still going to see this, aren't we? Zonneveld's got Peter Crouch inside. Plays a 1-2 and now Nichols. Crouch is running off him there. It's a good ball out to him. Walcott's in the middle. Can Peter Crouch find the ball? Crouch to the byline. Cuts back to Zonneveld. Must shoot. Oh, it's off the post. Oh, great effort. Andy O'Brien does well with Compton there. And eventually commits the foul. It'll be a yellow card for the shirt pull in the second one. But that was a chance to really put the game to bed. Andy O'Brien's got away with one there. I think I'm going to look at a couple of subs. I'm not going to go mad. But I think we'll bring Flamini on for De Cassi. Just to manage minutes. And we'll also bring Keane on for Foley, who struggled out there. Not going to make the third one just yet. We've got Ribeiro who can replace Crouch, who obviously had those physical issues in the last match. And then hopefully we can just see this one out because it's starting to look a little less than comfortable. So we've got a free kick in a dangerous position. Zonneveld into Andy O'Brien. Good save by the keeper. Tips it over for a corner. I mean, we've had enough chances to get the third goal, haven't we? Zonnevel puts another one in. This time it's headed away. We've had 7 shots on target. We've probably had 4 or 5 clear-cut ones. We've only scored 2 of them. Zonneveld in a foot race here with Welsh. I think Welsh is going to win it. Gets to the byline. There's one in the middle. What's going to happen here? It's back to Francis, and it's well over the bar. Good pressure from Nichols again. Just over 15 to go. I'm trying to identify the third sub. Osman's the one who's playing the worst. I don't know if I want to go a bit more defensive when we do it. Bring Hughes on instead, perhaps. Although I didn't put him on the bench, did I? Welch is in. It's a good save. O'Brien half away. Keane clears it away from McCulloch, and now Walcott can counter. What can we do here? Theo Walcott in towards Osman, who's making that run. Chance to get there. Marm wins it. And Baines clears long. Compton will be chased by Ferdinand. Schmeichel's coming miles out. You better get this right. He does just off the defender. And he gets it away for a throw-in. 12 to go. Osman's going to be replaced by Maloney. Like for like sub. And as they're probably about to go 4-2-4, we'll do Zonneveld for Keane there. Just stop the forward runs to an extent and try and hit on the counter. I think it's the best thing about managing these games. It's something we've tried to adapt this season when we're ahead on the road. We're going to time waste all the time. We're going to drop back to last year's mentality. And we'll drop the defensive line very slightly despite the pace at the back. Hopefully, it will pay dividends as it has in many of the away games. We're trying to see out the 10 minutes as Maloney's got a booking within 2 of coming on. And 5 minutes to go as the keeper comes. And Wigan can launch another attack. They've still got the 4-4-2 at the minute. Those wingers are pushing forward. So hopefully the line of 5 at the back will be enough. Maloney's chasing Satoridis. Don't get sent off. Forces it back. France is in midfield. Chance to look forward. Plays it to Marn. And a 2 are up there. Welch is in. Ferdinand forces him back. Keane chases McCulloch. It's out to Marn. Now Francis. Now Marn again. All Wigan. But we've got that line of defence. We're trying to soak up the pressure. Are they going to create the chance? Yes, they are. Compton gets the header. It's a good save, Schmeichel. It's out for a corner kick. Another big save by the keeper. We're starting to invite pressure. And a goal now. We all know how tetchy it will become. It will be a tense-old finish. Crouch clears it though, and Zonneveld can chase. Francis lets it bounce. Mike Zonneveld flicks on. Can't quite get it under control. Would have been a lovely way to nick it. But 90 minutes gone. It's been a very polished away performance. And I think we're going to get the win. 2.5 minutes into stoppage time. We've got the ball where we want it. As Zonneveld plays a 1-2 with Crouch. And again, Peter Crouch shoots. Little bit ambitious, Pete, but we'll let you off there. You've certainly played your part today. I don't know how many minutes were added, but there can't be enough time for 2. As Richards plays long downfield, Andy O'Brien up, and Andy O'Brien wins it to Flamini, up towards Crouch. Satoridis fouls him. Second yellow card, please. Not given, but the final whistle does go. We'll forgive you, ref. A 2-0 win for Luton Town. And in the end, a pretty good episode. And this is what I mean. We've talked about it all season. It is literally chalk and cheese from one week to the next. We have not got consistency by any means. But the only positive I can give is that the only 2 games we've lost in the last 7 or 8 seem to be when we've had either Coyne or Heikkinen in the defence. And once the January window has been and gone, that shouldn't ever happen again. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. I have noticed, I know we conceded 6 in the last game, but generally, the only time we keep clean sheets is on camera. 2 in the last episode, 1 in this one. We kept one on the opening day against City and against Middlesbrough on camera. I think Wigan is the only clean sheet in the first game against them that wasn't on camera this year. So I need to start showing you more games, don't I? I think what we're going to probably do is come back around the end of the January window. Palace are the bogey side, and then Arsenal's a massive game at home. I'd expect us to beat Derby at home. I'd expect us to have 1 or 2 good performances in the next 4 or 5. So maybe we'll do Palace and Arsenal. If we're doing really well, then we'll come back for Arsenal and Liverpool, because obviously we are at that end of the table. But it only takes 3 or 4 defeats in a row. We could be right back in relegation trouble. 10 clear of the dotted line now. 2 off the Champions League in this bizarre Premier League season. If you did enjoy this one, the sublime to the ridiculous of away performances, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments if you think there's anywhere else we should prioritise improving, or is it just about getting more depth at centre-half? Do you think I should let all the legends go, or has Kevin Nichols at the very least earned his stripes for next year? Let me know your thoughts on that. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on if you want to stay up to date with everything. This series continues every weekday at 4:30, so we will be back on Monday to continue. In the meantime, we'll have our usual Sunday live stream on Twitch with a possible new job offer on the way there. I'll see you when we return on Monday, and hopefully I'll be introducing at least one new centre half.